Yo, what's up, everybody? Imagine waking up every single day with a mind that's unbreakable, a body that's disciplined and strong, and a heart that's full of peace, no matter what chaos life throws at you. Most people are stuck reacting to everything, feeling drained, overwhelmed, and heartbroken. But what if I told you there are 3 brutal Stoic rules, ancient wisdom from guys like Marcus Aurelius, that can completely rebuild your mind, your body, and your heart starting today? These aren't fluffy feel-good tips. They're tough, they're direct, and they work. Stick with me for the next few minutes because by the end, you're going to have the exact tools to transform your entire life. Let's dive in. All right, let's dive deep into the first brutal Stoic rule that's going to completely rebuild your mind. This one comes straight from the ancient Stoics like Epictetus and Marcus Aurelius, and it's called the dichotomy of control. Simple idea, but brutal to live by. Control what you can and release everything you can't. Here's what that means in real life. There are only a few things truly in your control: your thoughts, your opinions, your actions, your effort, and how you respond to whatever happens. That's it. Everything else, the weather, traffic, what other people think of you, whether you get that promotion, if someone texts you back, the economy, your past, none of that is under your control, zero. And yet most of us spend 90% of our mental energy stressing, worrying, and trying to control exactly those things we have no power over. Think about it. How many hours have you lost replaying an argument in your head, wishing you'd said something different, or refreshing your phone, waiting for a message that never comes, or scrolling social media, comparing your life to someone else's highlight reel and feeling like garbage? That's all energy wasted on things outside your control. And every time you do it, you're handing over your peace of mind to something or someone else. The Stoics were brutal about this because they knew the truth. The moment you try to control what's uncontrollable, you suffer. Anxiety shows up, frustration builds, resentment grows. Your mind becomes a battlefield. But when you flip it, when you laser, focus only on what's actually in your circle of control, everything changes. Imagine this: you wake up, and instead of checking the news and letting headlines dictate your mood, you ask yourself, what do I control today? You control whether you get out of bed on time. You control whether you move your body. You control whether you choose to respond with kindness or snap at someone. You control the effort you put into your work. That's your power zone. And when you stay there, your mind gets quiet. The mental chatter slows down. Clarity shows up. I've seen this transform people's lives. One of my listeners reached out and told me he used to obsess over whether his boss liked him. He'd overanalyze every email, every meeting, stay late just to be noticed. He was exhausted, anxious all the time. Then he started applying this rule. He said, okay, I can't control if my boss promotes me or even if he likes me, but I can control showing up, prepared, doing my best work, and being a good teammate. Within months, not only did his anxiety drop, but guess what? He got the promotion anyway. Not because he forced it, but because he freed up all that mental energy and poured it into what actually mattered. That's the magic. When you release the uncontrollable, you stop fighting reality, you stop arguing with what already is. And suddenly, obstacles aren't enemies anymore, they're just data. A rejection isn't personal, it's information. A delay isn't the universe against you, it's just what's happening. You stay calm, you stay focused. Your mind becomes unbreakable because it's no longer fragile enough to be shattered by things outside your control. But here's where it gets brutal. Releasing control isn't a one-time thing, it's daily. Hardly sometimes. Every time you feel that tightness in your chest, that spiral starting in your head, pause and ask, is this in my control? If the answer is no, let it go. Breathe it out. Say to yourself, not mine to carry. It feels uncomfortable at first, like you're giving up. But you're not giving up. You're giving yourself freedom. This rule alone will clear the mental clutter that's been draining you for years. It'll stop the overthinking, kill the anxiety, and turn your mind into a fortress. Because a rebuilt mind isn't one that controls everything, it's one that isn't controlled by anything. And when your mind is strong like that, you're ready for the next level. Which brings us to rule number 2, embracing discomfort to rebuild your body. Now, let's move on to the second brutal Stoic rule, the one that's going to rebuild your body from the ground up. This one is all about embracing discomfort on purpose every single day. The Stoics called it voluntary hardship, and it's exactly what it sounds like: choosing to do hard things when you don't have to, so that when life forces hard things on you, you're already ready. Most people run from discomfort. They hit snooze 5 times because getting out of bed feels too hard. They skip the workout because it's cold outside or they're tired. They order takeout because cooking feels like too much effort. They stay in their comfort zone, chasing easy, soft, convenient, and slowly, without even noticing, their body gets weak, their discipline fades, their energy tanks. And then when real hardship hits, a tough deadline, an injury, a breakup, they crumble because they've never built the muscle to handle it. The Stoics knew better. Guys like Seneca and Marcus Aurelius would deliberately sleep on the floor, eat plain food, go without luxuries, not because they had to, but because they wanted to remind themselves that they could. They wanted to train their bodies and minds to thrive in discomfort, not just survive it. So here's the rule: stop chasing comfort and start inviting discomfort in small, controlled doses every day. It could be a cold shower first thing in the morning. It could be a hard workout when you feel like skipping. It could be fasting for a meal or walking instead of driving. It could be sitting in silence without your phone for 20 minutes. Whatever pushes you just outside that cozy bubble. Why does this rebuild your body? Because discomfort is the ultimate teacher of discipline. When you choose to do the hard thing on purpose, you're sending a message to your brain: I'm in charge here. You're building physical resilience, stronger muscles, better endurance, sharper focus. But more than that, you're proving to yourself that you're capable of way more than you think. I remember when I first started taking cold showers. The first few seconds felt like torture. My whole body screamed to get out, but I stayed in. And after a week, something shifted. Not only did I start craving that rush, but I noticed I was carrying that same energy into everything else. I stopped making excuses at the gym. I pushed harder in my work. I didn't flinch when life got tough. That one small act of voluntary discomfort rippled into every area of my life. And science backs this up too. Cold exposure boosts dopamine, reduces inflammation, strengthens your immune system. Intense exercise builds not just muscle but mental toughness. Intermittent fasting improves insulin sensitivity and mental clarity. But the real power isn't in the physical benefits alone, it's in the identity shift. You stop seeing yourself as someone who needs comfort to function. You start seeing yourself as someone who thrives in the fire. This rule is brutal because society sells us the opposite. Every ad, every app, every convenience is designed to make life softer, easier, more comfortable. And it feels good in the moment, but it's quietly weakening you. The Stoics would say comfort is the slow poison of the body and the soul. So start small, but start today. Pick one discomfort and commit to it daily. Maybe it's waking up 30 minutes earlier and moving your body no matter what. Maybe it's ending your showers with 30 seconds of ice cold. Whatever it is, do it when you don't feel like it. That's where the growth lies. Over time, your body transforms. You get stronger, leaner, more energetic. But the real rebuild is deeper. You become unbreakable. You develop the kind of discipline that carries you through anything. And that disciplined body becomes the foundation for everything else. When your body is forged in voluntary discomfort, you're ready for the final piece, the rule that rebuilds your heart. Let's get into rule number 3, Amor, Fati, learning to love your fate. Okay, here we go. The third and final brutal Stoic rule, the one that rebuilds your heart deeper than anything else you've ever tried. This one is called Amor Fati. It's Latin for love of fate, and it means exactly what it says: love everything that happens to you. Not just the good stuff, not just the wins and the highs. Love the losses, the pain, the betrayals, the failures, the days when everything falls apart. Love it all. Most people hear that and think, yeah, right? Love the fact that I got cheated on. Love that I lost my job. Love that someone I cared about walked away. And I get it. It sounds insane at first, but this isn't toxic positivity. This isn't pretending everything's fine when it's not. This is radical, brutal acceptance of reality. The Stoics believe that everything that happens is either directly good for you or it's training you to become stronger, wiser, and better. There are no accidents. Everything is happening for you, not to you. Think about your biggest heartbreaks, that relationship that ended and left you devastated. At the time, it felt like the worst thing in the world. But looking back, didn't it teach you what you really want? Didn't it force you to level up, to stop settling, to learn how to stand on your own? That business that failed, the money you lost, the dream that died, didn't it redirect you towards something better, even if you couldn't see it then? Amor Fati says stop resisting what already is. Stop wishing it was different. Stop carrying resentment like a backpack full of bricks. When you fight reality, you lose every time, and the only thing you hurt is your own heart. But when you say, this is what's happening, I don't understand it yet, but I'm going to love it anyway, something shifts inside you. The pain is still there, but it doesn't own you anymore. I've lived this. There was a time when I went through a breakup that crushed me. I couldn't eat, couldn't sleep, kept replaying every moment, asking, why me? I was angry, bitter, heartbroken. Then I remembered this rule. I started saying out loud every morning, I love this. I love that it ended. I love the pain because it's waking me up. It felt forced at first, almost ridiculous. But slowly it started to sink in. The resentment faded. Gratitude crept in. I saw how that ending freed me for something so much better. My heart didn't just heal, it grew stronger, deeper, more open than before. This rule rebuilds your heart because it kills victim mentality. It ends the why is this happening to me loop and replaces it with how is this happening for me. It turns scars into wisdom. It transforms suffering into strength. And over time, you stop fearing the future because you trust that whatever comes, good or bad, you're going to love it, learn from it, and come out better. The beauty is, Amor Fati ties everything together. When you've mastered control of your mind from Rule 1, you don't waste energy fighting what you can't change. When you've built discipline in your body from Rule 2, you have the strength to face hard things without breaking. And now, with Rule 3, your heart becomes unbreakable, not because nothing hurts anymore, but because you've learned to embrace the hurt, to love the entire journey. Start practicing it today. The next time something goes wrong, a plan falls through, someone lets you down, life throws you a curveball, pause, breathe, say to yourself, I love this. This is exactly what I needed. Feel the resistance, then let it go. Do this enough times and your heart will never be the same. It'll be full of peace, gratitude, and a quiet power that nothing can touch. These 3 brutal rules: control what you can, embrace discomfort, and love your fate will rebuild your mind, your body, and your heart stronger than you ever thought possible. Start with 1 today, commit for 30 days, and watch your entire life transform. You've got everything you need inside you right now. Go make it happen, all right? Now that we've broken down these 3 brutal Stoic rules, controlling what you can to rebuild your mind, embracing discomfort to rebuild your body, and loving your fate to rebuild your heart, let's talk about how they all connect. Because here's the truth, these aren't 3 separate things you do on the side. They're a system. They compound on each other, and when you live them together, they create a complete transformation that touches every single part of your life. Think about it like building a house. Rule 1, the dichotomy of control, is your foundation. When your mind is clear, when you're no longer wasting energy on things you can't change, have the mental space and the calm focus to even attempt the harder stuff. You're not drained from overthinking or anxiety anymore. You've got bandwidth. You've got clarity. That strong foundation lets you build the walls, which is rule 2, voluntary discomfort for your body. Because now that your mind isn't spiraling, you actually have the willpower to get up early, to push through that workout, to take the cold shower, to say no to the easy choice. You freed up the discipline that was previously hijacked by stress. And then once the foundation is solid and the walls are up, you put on the roof. Rule 3, Amor, Fati. Loving your fate protects everything underneath. When life inevitably hits hard, and it will, you don't collapse. You don't fall into resentment or self-pity because your heart is already trained to see the gift in the struggle. You've got the physical strength from discomfort to endure it, the mental clarity from control to navigate, and the emotional resilience from loving it all to grow from it. It's a loop that keeps getting stronger. The more you control your mind, the easier it is to choose discomfort. The more discomfort you choose, the tougher your body gets and the more confidence you build in your ability to handle anything. And the more you prove to yourself that you can handle hard things, the easier it becomes to love whatever comes next because you trust yourself completely. You know you're not going to break. I've watched this happen over and over. People start with just one rule. Maybe they get tired of anxiety and decide to focus only on what they control. Suddenly they've got more energy. They start hitting the gym consistently because they're not mentally exhausted anymore. They build momentum in their body. Then life throws a curveball, a layoff, a health scare, a relationship ending, and instead of falling apart, they lean into a more Fati. They say, okay, I love this. What's this teaching me? And they come out the other side not just surviving, but thriving, stronger, wiser, more at peace than before they got hit. That's the compound effect. One rule strengthens the next, and together they create a version of you that's almost unrecognizable from who you were before. Calm under pressure because your mind is in control. Energized and capable because your body is disciplined. Peaceful and grateful because your heart embraces everything. You stop reacting to life and start shaping it. Obstacles stop feeling like threats and start feeling like opportunities. You walk through the world with a quiet power that most people spend their whole lives chasing through money, status, or validation. This is what the Stoics were after, not a perfect life with no problems, but an unbreakable life where problems don't break you, where you're free because nothing external has the power to steal your peace, your strength, or your joy. So don't treat these as 3 random tips. Live them as one integrated way of being. Let them feed each other. Start wherever you're weakest right now. Maybe your mind's chaotic. Maybe your discipline's gone. Maybe your heart's still carrying old wounds. But know that strengthening one will lift the others. When these 3 rules become who you are, not just what you do, you get the real prize, a life of true freedom, real power, and deep fulfillment no matter what happens around you. And that brings us to the most important part, your next step. Let's talk about the challenge that's going to make all of this real for you. And now, here's the part where it all becomes real, the challenge. Because listening to this, feeling inspired, nodding along, that's easy. Anybody can do that, but transformation, that only happens when you take action, when you stop consuming and start applying. So I'm not letting you walk away today with just information. I'm giving you a clear, simple challenge to make these 3 brutal Stoic rules part of your life starting right now. Here's what I want you to do. Pick one rule, just one, and commit to living it every single day for the next 30 days. Don't try to do all 3 perfectly at once. That's how most people burn out and quit. Start with the one that hits you the hardest, the area where you know you need the most work. If your mind is constantly racing, anxious, overthinking everything, start with rule 1. Every morning, take 5 minutes to write down what's actually in your control today. Your effort, your attitude, your actions. Then throughout the day, every time you catch yourself stressing about something outside that list, traffic, someone's opinion, the past, pause, breathe, and say out loud, not mine to control. Let it go. Do this daily for 30 days, and you'll feel your mind quiet down in ways you didn't think were possible. If your body feels weak, your discipline is shot, and you're stuck in comfort zone habits, start with rule 2. Choose one voluntary discomfort and make it non-negotiable. Maybe it's a 5-minute cold shower every morning. Maybe it's a 30-minute workout no matter how you feel. Maybe it's skipping one meal or going phone free for the first hour of the day. Whatever pushes you outside, easy. Do it every single day for 30 days, even and especially when you don't want to. That's where the real strength is built. If your heart is carrying old pain, resentment, or you're still bitter about things that happened, start with rule 3. Every night before bed, take a moment to reflect on the hardest thing that happened that day. Then say to yourself, I love this. This is exactly what I needed to grow. Write it down if you have to. Force yourself to find the lesson, the gift, the redirection. Practice Amor Fati daily for 30 days and watch how your heart starts to heal and open in ways it never has before. Now, why 30 days? Because that's long enough to build real momentum, to turn a practice into a habit, to start seeing undeniable results. But it's short enough that you can commit without feeling overwhelmed. I've seen people do this challenge and come back completely changed. Anxiety drops, energy skyrockets, old wounds stop hurting. They start walking through life with a confidence and peace they didn't know existed. And here's the best part. Once you master one rule for 30 days, adding the second becomes way easier than the third. Before you know it, all 3 are working together, compounding, rebuilding your mind, your body, and your heart into something unbreakable. But it only works if you start, not tomorrow, not next week when things calm down, right now. Today, pick your one rule, commit to it out loud, say it to yourself, text it to a friend, write it down, make it real. Because here's the truth, you already have everything you need inside you to become the strongest version of yourself. These Stoic rules aren't new inventions, they've been transforming lives for over 2,000 years. They worked for emperors facing war and death. They'll work for you facing whatever you're going through right now. So don't wait for permission, don't wait for the perfect moment. Take this challenge, start today. Live these 3 brutal rules for the next 30 days, and I promise you, your mind will be clearer, your body will be stronger, your heart will be fuller, and your entire life will feel different. You've got this. Now go make it happen. So let's bring this all together. We started with a simple question. What if you could rebuild your mind so it stays clear and strong no matter what chaos is around you? Rebuild your body so it's disciplined, resilient, full of energy. Rebuild your heart so it's full of peace, gratitude, and power instead of pain and resentment. And the answer came down to 3 brutal Stoic rules that have stood the test of time for over 2,000 years. Control what you can and release what you can't. Embrace discomfort on purpose every single day. And love your fate. Love everything that happens because it's all shaping you into who you're meant to become. These aren't fluffy ideas. They're tough. They demand action. They push you out of comfort and into growth. But when you live them, when you let them compound and connect, they don't just improve your life. They transform it. You become the kind of person who doesn't get knocked down by setbacks, who doesn't waste days in worry or regret, who walks through the world calm, capable, and deeply alive. You deserve that version of yourself, not someday, not when things get easier, right now. So take the challenge I gave you. Pick one rule today, commit to it for the next 30 days. Start small, consistent, and watch what happens. Because I already know what's waiting on the other side of mine that's unbreakable, a body that's unstoppable, and a heart that nothing in this world can shatter. You've got the tools, you've got the power, and you've got this. Thank you for showing up today, for being willing to do the hard work of becoming better. Now go out there and live these rules. The world needs more people like you, strong, calm, and fully alive. Go make it happen. I believe in you.